This is the camp where myself and Jason stayed at about 2 years ago, and I just noticed just over here Jason left his glow sticks. I don't know if you can see, just hung up, and over here I remember leaving a spear I made, which is left there 2 years on. And this is where I set up the treehouse tent, or the tentsile. It was on these trees there. I believe we've got the remains of Jason's carved bench that he made. Oh, it brings back a few memories. Okay, so the Rubio's pack that we brought up, he's carried up himself his warm water, save him drinking mine. We've got a foldable food and drinks pouch here. Just probably give him a bit of water there. I'm honest, we could all do with a bit of a drink. Ugh. Trouble with I find with a dog, especially this dog, is that at night, where obviously we get into our sleeping bag, I put a blanket over Rubio, and within seconds he's kicked the blanket off and becomes kind of a useless thing. So I kind of tend to wrap him up in these, I think this is called the Fernie from Ruffwear, but you know, this keeps him pretty warm through the night. And I got another jacket that I put on him as well, and that keeps him pretty warm. So, which is another item that Rubio carried up himself. Keep a couple of the wires just in case when I'm sleeping he doesn't run off. There's a number of other things in there which I won't go into too much detail. I think I've already done a video on some of this. There's another water pouch there. I like to try and balance up the weight on either side for him. What's happening? So finally having time to sit down and have a bit of a rest for a second. I've spent a bit of time getting the tentsile sorted properly. In the past I've had some right nightmares with it, and mostly because obviously you're setting the straps against the trees, but they're at different heights. We're on a bit of a downhill slope here, and obviously I've set this up at the same position as last time, but this time round, rather than setting them all at shoulder height, I've obviously spent a bit of time making sure that it's all kind of straight, so when you sleep in this you're not rolling down kind of to the back end at like 2 o'clock in the morning and having a real bad sleep. So fingers crossed, should have a good sleep tonight. Hopefully I've got this right, and if I have, I'm going to put some little markers where I set them up. But yeah, we had a bit of an interesting situation earlier. Obviously a bit curious to see how the wild boar would be with us being here, and we're on a bit of a trail for them here, and the dog Rubio picked up on them coming round out of the undergrowth. I heard them rustling around for a little while, and Rubio let off a couple of barks, and that was it. They were gone. So it's kind of like quite reassuring to know that they're not gonna cause us a bit of an issue tonight. So maybe I might eat my words later. So I'll have a good kind of set up with the tentsile, but it'd be Rubio barking constantly to keep me awake. But yeah, so shortly gonna set up the fire. I've keep getting bit by mosquitoes, and I was at last year's outdoor trade show, and I picked up a free Life Systems Expedition Plus insect repellent. So I'm going to give this a little bit of a whirl and see what happens. See if I get bit tonight. We will see how that. We'll see how that keeps the mosquitoes away tonight or not. So I shall report back in the morning whether I've been bit or not. And yeah, so when I get the fire going, I've got some steak, I've got a couple of beers. I'm gonna have a little kind of, obviously the reason I came up here just to have a bit of a chill out. Came up on my own with a dog, and so I shall come back shortly with the beer and with the steak on the go. So I'll probably be coming back in about half an hour. At the moment it's about 5:30, so it should start getting dark about 9 o'clock. So I don't really want to light the fire too early, but obviously when I'm cooking my steak I want to have some nice embers going rather than the flames. Rubio, you okay? Yeah. Come on lad, good boy. You alright? Go on then, go and have a lie down. Go and lie down over there. Go on, sit. Good boy. What's up, buddy? It's okay, isn't it? Rubio's got a bit of food as well. He's got some. He's got a tin of dog food. He's already been fed before he came, but I brought him. Obviously, he carried his own pack up here. Bless him. You'll probably see that on the video. I tried to kind of level it out as best as possible, so he was carrying quite a bit of water because I thought the trek would. The water was a bit more important than the food because we fed him earlier, and so we've got a little bit for you just so you don't scavenge on my food. So molten. There you go. The other thing is I forgot my sleeping bag, so that's annoyed me. And I've brought a wool blanket that I normally bring just to sit on, so unfortunately I'm going to have to use that. So I hope it's going to be quite warm tonight, because otherwise it could be another reason for having a bad sleep. Rubio, come on, over here. Good lad. Come on. basically can't beat beer next to a fire, chilling out in the woods. For those who haven't done it, you know what you're missing out on. Not too harsh. Very nice. Good choice. Take a look at that. Oh, look at it. Beautiful. Oh, watch the dog get up there. Why have I got the feeling this is going to be absolutely gorgeous? Oh my god. Here you go. There you go, mate. God, I tell you, it's a scorching hot day today, so obviously having this fire is a bit OTT, but needs must, and obviously we got to cook our food, and the camping trip wouldn't really be a camping trip without having a fire, and but hence the reason why I'm in shorts and t-shirt. But it's another kind of thought process in bringing a dog up. You know, kind of, is he going to be cold, or I do come a little bit over the top prepared with all his coats and everything. I shall kind of wait and see how it pans out tonight, how warm it is, and then decide. There you go, mate. Hey, happy now? And it's nice for these, nice for the dog to come out as well. I mean, I must admit, if I came out here on my own, it'd be a little bit of a lonely affair, I guess. But only the camera to keep you company. But having your dog here with you, it does make a bit of a difference, so you're not here completely on your own. Mate, no, I don't want dog food on my face. Thank you, anyway. I know I shared my food with you, but I don't want to share your food. No! I tell you, that's just lighting your load, buddy, on the way back. Have a right lightweight pack on the way back. There you go. I don't know if anybody's wondering what this is. It's on the back of Rubio, but this is a Phoenix CL05. They call it like a lit light, as you can see. When it becomes night, I shall turn that on. I think you turn it goes brighter, or you've got the red light. Just in case he goes missing. Come prepared. We don't want to lose you, do we, buddy? Not that you would go anywhere, I know what you're like. You don't move, do you? You don't move. Well, I saw a cyclist come past me earlier, so just wanted to have a little look where the track goes and what else is around here. It's always good to have a little investigation of your surroundings. Look how he just stays put, guarding the place. Good lad. Rubio, sit. Sit. Good boy. Stay. Guard the manor. This is where the cyclists come. And there he is, still sat. Okay, finish. Good boy. Go on then. Do what you want to do. Good lad. And you're a good boy. Real good boy. Hey? And you're a good boy. Yeah. Going great though, mate. So Rubio's picking up on the boar. In fact, I can hear the boar coming in. What is it, buddy? What is it? And he's retired. Usually when the dogs are back at home, it only takes for them to come in that kind of 50-metre radius, and they're a little bit further out at the moment. I think I can just hear them rustling a little bit further out, but sure enough they will. I think they're probably picking up on the steak scent or working their way in. And the other interesting thing is that the since spraying that insect repellent, I have not had one thing land on me since. So, but we'll reserve judgment until early morning. Rubio, watch him. Rubio, Rubio, watch him. Who is it? Watch him. Watch him. Good boy. Tell him. You tell him. Good boy. Good boy. So this is the dog setup for when Rubio goes to bed. This will get clipped onto his harness. So I've put a shorter red loop around the tree just so I don't damage the tree, quite loose. And then it's attached to a longer blue one which will reach right away underneath there, in case it rains, which I'm not predicting it will, but you never know. And it gives him a lot of freedom to walk around. And the reason I put it on the harness is because it doesn't kind of, hopefully won't get caught around the neck, or kind of decreases the chance of that happening, and it gives the dog a bit more freedom to not get tangled up off the harness. So, being lazy as usual until called into action. Since he started barking, obviously the boar have gone off again, which is a good thing, because I'd rather not have a conflict if we can help it, and have a nice easy night, I guess. But I'm predicting around about 1-2 o'clock they will be out and about, so around this area around that top. They seem to come from there. So this is where I enter through the floor, and that zips in a triangle. And you have, like, difficult to see from here. Let's see if I can follow it down. Where this seam goes down here to there, and then back around there. You've almost got like 3 areas of sleep which kind of you fall into. So when you've got 3 people, you can it kind of creates its own little pod, if that makes sense. And then this area here can be zipped open. So there you go. So I've got into my tent now. It's starting to get dark, so I'm going to retire for the night. But kind of going just for one night kind of isn't really long enough, really. You know, you spend most of your time kind of setting up, and then you kind of haven't really done anything apart from set up. So, but you know, I've had a good kind of 2-3 hours where I've chilled out a little bit. I've just kind of, I don't know how people feel, but when I'm at home, or just general everyday life, you don't really get a chance to switch off. You know, you can come up into the woods, you kind of escape from kind of aggro. You don't have to do anything, you know, and that's what I like about it. So yeah, that escapism. And of course you get to drink beer and eat steak. My fire's gone out now. Rubio's heavy breathing or snoring, whatever you want to call it, right underneath me as well. So that's nice. And it's quite warm. I'm kind of not that bothered that because at one point, I must admit, I carried all my stuff up and it was a trek. I was tired. Rubio was tired. And I thought to myself, oh, I haven't got my sleeping bag. Should I just turn back around and go home? But I thought, and for quite some time I thought, you know, I'll do a bit of a video. I'll do a few things up here and then pack up and go back. It won't be a wasted journey. But by the time I set my tent up, I thought, do you know what? I'm here now. I've got a wall blanket, so I think I'm going to be fine, to be fair. So I'm just kind of happy I've got the angle of the tentsile correct this time. I don't know whether you can see, but like a cocoon. See, it's almost like a hammock. There's like 3 hammocks. So I've got all my kit on that side. And I've got my battery, charging my phone and everything else on that bit. So it keeps it all kind of in line. So, very happy. Very happy. No doubt Rubio is going to be barking all night too, which would be nice. Which I'm used to anyway from back home. Only takes for a rabbit to hop across the flipping garden and that's it, he's off. So I'm used to it. I usually sleep through that, so not too fast. The one thing I remember the last time I slept out here, I must admit, was when I heard the boar kind of fighting and rustling around. You've got like this anxiety of sleep, and you go home with that, and you don't realise it until you go home, because home is like a place where you feel safe, I guess. Whereas here with the boar, it's kind of a different, it's like that subconscious anxiety that you get, where your brain must not switch off fully when you're sleeping, and you hear any little rustle, and you know, when I go back home for them, I mean that was when I did 3 nights in a row, but you know, I'm expecting when I go home now I'll have that slight anxiety before I go to sleep. But, and you only really notice it when you go back home, which is interesting. But yeah, I was thinking about bringing a book, but I brought a little lantern as well from Goal Zero. Might as well show you that while I'm here. So it's called a Lighthouse Micro. So switch them on. It's quite a handy little light. Charges up on USB in my Goal Zero Yeti. Morning everyone, just woke up, struggled last night a little bit, got to about 2 o'clock and started to feel the cold a little bit with just the wool blanket, so it wasn't ideal, but I got through it I guess, and yeah, I slept well from about 10 till 2, and then yeah, it wasn't like really cold, but just a little bit uncomfortable, so would have been alright if I had brought my sleeping bag. Anyway, dog slept well, didn't really hear him, so boar must have kept away, his early warnings must have been enough. And shortly I'm going to wake up, make myself a cup of coffee, and then start packing back down again. And take the trek back to the car. So, yep, not advisable to forget your sleeping bag. It's the lesson I've learned. I can't believe I forgot it. Hey ho. Right, see you in a minute. Right, the fire seems to have gone out properly, so as I'm not going to be lighting that back up, I'm going to cover that up, cover our tracks. and also it gives me a chance to see that it doesn't reignite, but it looks pretty dead. Cool. Ooh. As I don't want to light a full fire again, just to make a cup of coffee, I have made a little leather pouch that houses a BCB little fire, cook set, whatever you want to call it, and they quite neatly pack 3 of these, which will probably make 2 cups of coffee just with that. So there we go, as simple as that. I guess if you're making coffee, some porridge, this makes it pretty quick. We'll leave that for a little bit. That should boil up. All boiled, and a nice cup of coffee for the morning in my cold hands. All boiled then, and a nice cup of coffee this cold morning. Oh yeah. Top's been taken off, ready packed down. I'm going to finish off enjoying my coffee before we pack down properly. Dog's having his drink, the last of it, so His pack weight's as light as it can be now for the way back.